There's a figure over in the shadows. What's he wearing? A cheap suit with a red cape underneath? Who is that? Who are you? Turn around!
Me, Clark. Superman Clark.
Red Scott! He's me!
With the fan-led fury online over the latest Superman film directed by James Gunn, with some arguing it's the greatest version of the character ever made, while others insist on the superiority of Zack Snyders' Man of Steel, both sides seem or choose to forget previous versions of the character that have appeared on screen. All, however, have their imperfections and flaws with a lack of humour and charm that prevents them from becoming true classics, unlike Richard Donner's 1978 masterpiece.
Easy, miss. I've got you.
You've got me! Who's got you?
All save one. But it's not a movie or a TV show, but a radio drama broadcast in the early 90s on the BBC. And I guarantee you, it's the greatest Superman you've never seen. BBC Radio's The Adventures of Superman. So, what did I think? In the great city of Metropolis, a town virtually in the pocket of LexCorp and its owner Lex Luthor, played by William Hootkins, Lois Lane, played by Lorelei King, ace reporter for the Daily Planet, is out to discover the identity of Superman, a superhero who has recently appeared in the skies above the city. But Lois is reluctantly paired up with the newly arrived reporter Clark Kent, played by Stuart Milligan, in her investigation, unaware that Clark is in fact Superman. By the mid-1980s, it was safe to say the Man of Steel had a spot of rust on him. Following the calamitous decision to replace the director of Superman the movie, Richard Donner, 2/3 of the way through the making of Superman 2 with the Three Musketeers director Richard Lester, the law of diminishing returns quickly kicked in, with Superman 3, and in particular the fiasco that was Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, ensuring that as a film franchise, Superman was dead and buried. While DC Comics found itself in a literal crisis. Casual comics readers were intimidated by 50 years of continuity that was often convoluted, if not contradictory. So in 1985, DC Comics published Crisis on Infinite Earths. The Crisis was an attempt to clean up continuity and create a new, easy-to-follow DC universe for readers, rebooting and relaunching major titles as it did so. And the first was Superman, with John Byrne's The Man of Steel, dumping decades of storylines, streamlining the character, making Superman the sole survivor of Krypton. There would be no more Supergirl, no Superboy, no Krypto the Superdog, or Comet the Superhorse. Look it up, that is a real thing. Making the character more relevant to then modern audiences, while Lex Luthor was no longer a supervillain in an armoured suit.
From now on will be known as the Legion of Doom.
Now he was a ruthless industrialist, the symbol of 80s avarice and greed, who used his financial might to corrupt Metropolis.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works.
The Man of Steel was an instant success, and its story would become the new canon for DC into the 21st century. But Warner Brothers Studios, so soon after the abject failure of Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, would understandably be reluctant to go near the franchise. So it would be a full 7 years outside of the Ruby Spears cartoon series of 1988 before a new live-action Superman would return to our screens in Lois and Clark, The Adventures of Superman. However, this delay would unintentionally provide a window of opportunity for a young producer in BBC Radio Light Entertainment by the name of Dirk Maggs. Today, Maggs, with a career that has spanned 4 decades, is considered the Steven Spielberg of audio drama. adapting and producing titles as diverse as Independence Day to Alien, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to The Sandman. But in 1988, Maggs had produced for BBC Radio the docudrama Superman on Trial, celebrating the character's 50th anniversary. This was quickly followed a year later at the height of Batman mania with a second docudrama, Batman, The Lazarus Syndrome, which commemorated 50 years of The Dark Knight. Both shows had been huge successes with the audience, so the BBC commissioned the Adventures of Superman radio serial based on John Byrne's Man of Steel and the rebooted continuity. A serial that, under its producer Maggs, would push radio drama beyond its then limits, and even 35 years later is as groundbreaking and exciting as the day it was first broadcast. It's hard for anyone born after 1990 to imagine just how revolutionary the Adventures of Superman truly was. In the days before digital platforms, radio drama tended to sound, no matter how well produced, like actors in a studio talking over a sound effects track for atmosphere, counting on the listener using their imagination to conjure up the final image in their mind's eye. From crime dramas to adaptations of Lord of the Rings.
His son Faramir has returned, and he has tidings which you should hear.
What tidings?
You will know in good time, Peregrine Took. Come, we must not keep them waiting.
However, Maggs used groundbreaking techniques, adopting a cinematic approach to radio drama, combining filmic storytelling, layer after layer of sound effects, orchestral music, and digital recording, and was responsible for introducing Dolby surround sound to BBC radio productions, calling the result audio movies. And the difference is remarkable.
Wow! Quick, outside! Oh my gosh! It's him!
You sure that's the man who saved the space plane?
Oh, Harry, when was the last time you saw a man fly? Nice new outfit, too!
Get after him, Lois, and stay with him. No matter what happens, get me that story. Taxi!
Except for images on the screen, this is a movie in every other sense of the word. And to be honest, one of the greatest superhero films ever made. Maggs perfectly judges the pace, creating a fun, fast-moving atmosphere, yet at the same time knowing when to pause long enough for the audience to breathe. There are moments that feel straight out of a Preston Sturges screwball comedy, with characters such as Lorelei Kings and Lois Lane moving between go-getting to spiky and defensive, but always with a sense of humour bubbling just underneath. Yet all the while, Maggs shows a respect for the source material rarely seen in Hollywood adaptations, with entire sequences lifted straight from the page and transferred to the radio.
The filling.
Whoa, now back up, back
Lois,
up.
don't
no,
be so
hold on.
cold.
Kent!
Yes, Lois?
Put that sandwich down and lend me your jacket.
Sure. What do you want it for?
I am returning Mr. Luthor's gift, Kent. Now just stand in front of me and make yourself as wide as you know how.
Lois!
Eyes front, mister.
Oh, this is somewhat premature.
Save it,
but
Lex. You can have this back. Come on, Kent.
With the only major change being Maggs' decision to move the destruction of Krypton from the start of the story to the end of the series, adding to the overall mystery of Clark's origin. Instead, he opens with Superman's first appearance to the world, the saving of the space plane.
Well, you came on board for a story, Miss Lane. Looks like you got a biggie.
If I survive to turn it in, isn't there anything you can do?
We can make a very large hole in downtown Metropolis. But only get this space back.
Can you hear me?
Listen, this isn't a good time.
Frost.
Oh, you're not gonna believe this!
Skipper. Get Nick power down.
Lois, it's
Will
incredible!
you be quiet?
Wait a minute. We're leveling up. What'd you do? I just knew a thing. But that little plane's tangled up with us. So what the hell is keeping
The
us up
belly
here?
camera! Look on the belly camera!
A sequence that Bryan Singer would attempt with far less success 16 years later in Superman Returns. But a radio drama, unlike a movie, lives and dies on its actors' voice performances. And Maggs gathered a cast of actors, many of whom were genre stalwarts, that together knocked it out of the park. From Garrick Hagon, best known as Biggs Darklighter in Star Wars, as the gruff, no-nonsense Perry White, to the Pink Panther's Burt Kwok as Dr. Teng. In particular, Doctor Who's Jon Pertwee as Professor Schwartz, creator of Superman's kryptonite-powered adversary Metallo. Pertwee shows through his performance just why he'd been a radio star long before he was the Doctor.
Lex Luthor. Yes. Lex Luthor first. And after Lex Luthor, Superman. But first, Lex Luthor, you understand? I've waited too long for this to make a mistake. I've waited too long to find you.
Lorelei King makes Lois Lane her own. Updated for the 90s, Lois is no longer the damsel in distress pining after Superman. This version of Lois is forthright, determined to getting to the bottom of any story, to the point of being a pain in the ass, and is easily the equal of Clark Kent or Superman. But the adventures of Superman truly belong to two actors. Stuart Milligan as Clark Kent. At this point in his career, Milligan was best known for small roles in TV and in movies such as Outland, and his uncredited appearance in Aliens as the salvage team leader who discovers the sleeping Ripley.
Bio readouts are all on the green. Looks like she's alive. There goes our salvage, guys.
Milligan, through the tenor of his voice, down to a simple inflection in a word, shows the audience how everyone else sees Clark Kent and Superman as two different people.
Nice apartment. Very, nice.
Oh, thanks.
These your weights? Well, either I'm getting stronger or these dumbbells don't weigh too much. How'd you get that physique with this flea circus stuff?
Just gonna shave. Won't be long.
Whoops. I bought the weights to provide an explanation as to why Clark Kent's build is as good as Superman's.
Then there is the late William Hootkins as Lex Luthor. Hootkins recorded dozens of radio plays for the BBC and appeared in films as varied as Raiders of the Lost Ark to Flash Gordon. Although to hundreds of millions of filmgoers, Hootkins will always be the doomed X-Wing pilot Jack Porkins. Hootkins is a new kind of villain, never feeling the need to rant or rave about taking over the world, not when a single sentence uttered with a voice dripping with venom and threat will suffice.
What did you do with that kryptonite you took from Metallo?
Oh, the green stone? How are you feeling, Superman? A little under the weather?
What's that?
Ah, you've noticed my new ring.
It's no wonder Dirk Maggs decided to leave Hootkins read the end credits as Lex.
Adapted, written, and directed by the prime malefactor and soon-to-be defendant unto death, Dirk Maggs. Oh, I'll twist his testimonials. I'll soil their briefs. I shall eat them alive!
Order! Order! Knock it off! BBC Radio's The Adventures of Superman is a true classic. And once you've listened to it, you realize that every film that followed, be it from Singer, Snyder, or Gunn, really aren't that super at all. Now, usually I tell you how it's available on all formats, but The Adventures of Superman is not, with secondhand CDs when they can be found on eBay going for ridiculous prices. But it can be found online and on YouTube. So just this once, click below in the description to find a link to the full 2.5-hour adventure. I say, go listen to it.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
And if you like this episode of So What Did I Think and want to see more, please hit that notification bell and click like and subscribe. Always subscribe. Thanks for watching.